Hello, dear friend, and welcome back to The Fabienne Show. Today's episode is one that I know so many of you need to hear. It is something that is a constant conversation when I'm talking to women, whether I'm talking to them about their business or their personal life or their family life. And this is for you, especially if you are feeling stretched, tired, and maybe even a little resentful about how much you're giving to your business, in your business, through your business. And today we're talking about boundaries, but not in a dry way. We're talking about boundaries as a way to protect your well being while still allowing your business to scale and grow. Because you know that I believe that when women make their own money and lots of it, they have a voice and a choice. And I want you to make your own money and lots of it, but without burning out. I believe that boundaries are the very structure that allows your business to flourish without burnout. I first want to address why this matters. And let me share a story with you that I've seen so often, too often. It's a woman that I'm talking to, or a woman that I meet at a conference, or one that joins one of my programs. And she's so smart, and she's dedicated, and she's heart centered, and she's successful on paper. But she's exhausted. And maybe that's you. Maybe you are replying to team messages or emails at 10 p.m., or your client is calling you at 10 p.m. or texting you, and maybe you're taking calls on weekends or rescheduling your workouts and your family dinners because a client needed something urgently. And yes, you're scaling your business, but you're also scaling your resentments, your depletion, and maybe even feeling sick sometimes. And there is this growing feeling that this is not going to be sustainable. And here's the loving truth that I'd like to share with you, just from decades of working with women with big hearts who want to scale, but who are approaching burnout or have approached it before and don't know how to stop it. This is the truth. You cannot build a business that sustains you if you are constantly abandoning yourself. And so boundaries are the bridge between your big vision and your nervous system's ability to hold that vision. Now, before we get into some boundary upgrades that I'd like to share with you, that I share with the members of Bold Heart, I want to discuss why women especially struggle with boundaries. Let's call it for what it is. Many women entrepreneurs, especially those of us with big hearts, feel guilty around saying no. We're taught to accommodate and overdeliver and feel obligated to people's requests and to just prove our worth by always being available, always taking care of people's needs before our own. And I've witnessed this for decades, how we are just expected to say yes, or else we are not nice, or else we are the B word, or else we are selfish. And so being available to others is how we are taught to be worthy. And I don't believe in that. Here's the shift I'd like to explore with you today. Being always available in your business doesn't make you valuable. It makes this unsustainable for you. It is a recipe for depletion and burnout, especially as you scale. So I'm going to say something controversial. Clients don't need you to be a martyr or a victim. They need your clarity, your leadership, and your presence. And you can't offer any of those when you are running on empty. I'm going to say that again just so you really hear me. This is not about being a martyr. This is not about you running on empty. This is about providing value based on your intellect, not your overgiving. So let's talk about how to create boundaries that serve both your business and your sanity, your well-being, just you. Here are 3 places to start. Number 1, time boundaries. I want you to get really clear about what working hours you would like to have. Maybe you're getting up at 6, and for some people, the 6 a.m. club, the 5 a.m. club, maybe that works for you. But if you are getting up really early and feeling resentful about it because you just have so much stuff to do, it's time to rethink those working hours. And if you find that instead of closing your laptop at a reasonable hour or going back to your office after putting the kids to bed and working until midnight or 1 o'clock, just know that it doesn't have to be this way. You decide what acceptable business hours are going to look like for you. And it's time to set and honor those. Let's put an end to saying just one more email after dinner, because you know that one more email turns into 10. Instead, I invite you to create CEO time each week on your calendar. Blocks for strategic thinking and not just reacting. Take back your time from those who have hijacked it from you. And instead, use your time to think. Think about doubling your business next year. Think about spending your time on exponential growth activities instead of giving and giving and giving to everybody else's priorities and requests. Now, let's talk about client boundaries. As we talked about recently, it's time to stop customizing everything and set clear scopes of work with your clients. Let your clients know what they can expect from you and when, because you train your clients how to treat you. And if they trespass those agreements, I want you to really dig deep and bypass the fear of confrontation and just say, you know what, this is outside of our scope. I'd be happy to work on this, and we'll need additional hours for that. It's time to take back your power here, because you're never going to scale your business if your clients are taking advantage of you. And the third area is energetic boundaries. Listen, maybe you're an empath like me or a lot of our clients. You're a high achiever, but you also have a big heart. Just know that you don't have to take on your team's emotions or your client's panic or your industry's hustle pressure. Those things don't need to belong to you. And even if those things are expected of you, you just don't have to play the game. Maybe your nervous system is making you nervous and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what if I don't take that client phone call at 10 p.m.? Or what if I don't respond to the panic? Or if my team member is freaking out, if I'm not there to help them, I'm not good at my job. That's not true. All you need to do in the moment is slow down, do some box breathing, journal, listen to some solfeggio frequencies, do some EFT tapping, take time off the screens and just go for a walk in nature. I know that the to-do list is very long, but you need to protect your body, your mind, your sanity, and your energetic field as if your business depends on it. Your sanity too. Why? Because it all does. It's not because somebody is expecting something from you that you have to cave in. While it's hard for me to say no to, I've just come from a place that I love myself enough to set boundaries. I tell my clients all the time, boundaries are an act of self-love. I'm going to say that again so that you can hear me and write it down. Boundaries are an act of self-love. Like saying to yourself, I love myself enough to not get burned out. I love myself enough to say no. I love myself enough to not respond at 10 p.m. and to return their text message, their phone call, or their email in the morning. I love myself enough to not get caught up in the drama, as my family and I call it. It's not because it's their priority that it needs to be yours. And yeah, setting boundaries at first is going to seem scary because we don't want to be the bad girl. We don't want to be not nice. We don't want to be called the B word or bossy or selfish. But when somebody calls me bossy, I say, no, I'm actually decisive. I am a woman who knows what she wants, and I'm not afraid to ask for it. So let's talk about the mindset shift required here. Creating boundaries isn't about becoming rigid or unavailable. At least that's not the way I do it. It's about honoring your value and creating a business that supports your whole life instead of draining it. And yes, at first, boundaries definitely feel like you're being selfish. But I choose to turn it around and say boundaries are self-loving. And it's not what you do, it's how you do it. You can say no elegantly. You can say no with thanks. One of the things that I teach our members of Bold Heart is the big fig sandwich. And the big fig sandwich is when you're delivering some news that's not good, like setting a boundary or saying no. The big stands for begin in gratitude. So if you're delivering some bad news, like setting a boundary, you can begin the conversation in gratitude, saying, thank you so much for thinking of me. I really appreciate you reaching out to me and asking me if I want to do this thing, be on your board, be on this project. I really appreciate you for asking me. And then you deliver the bad news. It's not the right time for me to be accepting this invitation. I just don't have the bandwidth. And it can be as short as that. You don't really need to give a reason. What I found is when you give people a reason, they try to turn your reason into an argument or another reason for you to do it. That's why I keep the boundary short. And then the fig part of the big fig sandwich is you finish in gratitude. And just once again, thank you so much for thinking of me for this board position or this project. I'm just so lucky to have you in my life. And I know you're going to find the perfect person for it. And it can be as quick as that, a big fig sandwich boundary. In a way, boundaries are generosity with a little bit of structure. And here's what I mean by that. They allow you to give from a full cup and to show up with joy and with generosity because you have more energy to give. And it's also about you modeling what's possible for your clients and your family and your friends when you love yourself enough to say no. And so ask yourself today, where am I abandoning my own needs in the name of being successful? What boundary, if I honored it starting this week, would allow me to breathe again and to get my sanity back? And then ask yourself, what part of me still believes that I have to hustle and say yes to everything or prove my worth through overgiving? Because, my love, it's time to create a business that feels like freedom, not a cage of your own making. And it starts with the courage and the bold heart to set boundaries, loving boundaries, clear boundaries, non-negotiable boundaries. And I promise that future self, you in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, the one who has scaled her business and gotten her life back, the one who's taking 8 to 14 weeks of unplugged vacations per year while the business continues to make money, that version of you will thank you. And if this topic is really speaking to you, I want you to pay special attention to chapter 3 in my book called The Leveraged Business. There's a whole section in the Leverage Your Time chapter that is all about boundaries. This is how you grow your business without burning out. And if you haven't read it yet, the Leveraged Business book is your next step. It's basically a roadmap to building a business that scales with systems and soul and sanity. And if you don't have a copy of the book yet, you can go to boldheart.com to get it, along with a lot of bonuses that I've thrown in for you. As always, I'm so grateful that you're here. And I really want to inspire you to think bigger, not just about the size of your business, but about the size of your freedom. If you love this episode, share it with a friend, leave a review. I love reading those. Or come say hi to me on Instagram. I want to leave you with a reminder that you do not have to do this alone, and it doesn't have to be this way. Until next time, I'm sending you so much love. You can do this.